And this is one of the cheat codes for 2024. Just simply showing up, saying you're going to do something and following through. Why? Because 99% of people aren't fucking doing that. 99% of people are saying one thing, doing another. They're lying to themselves. Essentially, that means they're lying to people around them. And there's nothing worse than knowing deep down that you're bullshitting yourself. So in 2018, I got hit with vertigo. It completely wiped me out for 8 weeks. I was debilitated. For those of you who don't know what that's like or what it feels like, imagine drinking 10 pints of lager, okay, a couple of shots, going to bed with maybe 3 hours sleep, waking up the next day. You're still a bit pissed, right? You're still a bit disorientated. You don't know what's what. You just want to go and lie down. That's what it was like for 8 weeks. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't great. As a result of that, put a bit of weight on, ate a lot of shit, didn't train, couldn't work, and became an absolute victim of my circumstances. The reason I share this with you to start today's episode is because off the back of that, I went on a bit of a journey of personal development, bought into mentors. I went on loads of different courses. I tried to figure out a bit more about what made me tick, what I found meaningful, develop up my own internal skills so I could understand myself more and I could serve people at a bigger level. From the back of that, you only have to go online these days. You're bombarded with all these different types of gurus. One person says to this, next person says does that. It's very conflicting. It's very confusing. And I feel like when it comes to health, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to personal development, there's so much information out there that sometimes you get procrastinated by it. On this episode and throughout my podcast series, I want to make sure that I'm giving you no bullshit, straightforward information, but most importantly, action steps that if you implement straight away, you start seeing a return on that investment. So today, I want to kind of distill what I've kind of learned from these years of personal development and break it down into a daily game for you. A daily game that if you play it, you're guaranteed to feel more confident, you're guaranteed to feel more in control of your life, and the results you want to achieve, whether it's in your business, with your body, in your relationships, will supercharge, will compound, and you can make more progress in the next month, the next 2 months, next 3 months than you thought possible. And that's quite a big shout here that I'm making, but I believe in it. Why? Because I've got a lot of test cases, I've got a lot of case studies, and myself are my biggest transformation story. So let me share with you why I've come up with this daily game. A lot of personal development, a lot of coaches, a lot of gurus talk about having these big 10-year visions. They talk about having yearly targets, 90-day targets, all this great stuff, which, by the way, I absolutely buy into. I implement it myself. But what I realized was, for the man right now, maybe this includes you, who's a little bit unsure about what he needs to be doing day to day to maximize his potential, to maybe get yourself out of that rut, for you to think and feel a bit more positive, for you to have a bit more energy, have a bit more confidence. What can you be doing? How can you set these targets if you don't really know where to start? So I believe in actually going the opposite way. Instead of thinking big term and long term visions and breaking it down into like daily goals, let's start with the daily game first and let's try and figure things out as we go. All right. So what I mean by this is I believe there's 4 key areas that you need to focus on in life if you want to live a fulfilled, purpose-driven existence. If you want to maximize your potential, if you want to feel good on a daily basis, high energy, high confidence, getting shit done, making progress. And by the way, our brain, this bit of real estate here between the ears, loves making progress, right? When it's making progress, when you're hunting down your targets, it releases dopamine. Dopamine is the feel-good hormone, all right? When you're on the pursuit of things, when you're making progress and your brain knows it and you know it, you feel fucking good. The reverse of that is going backwards. It's almost like dying with your song in you, knowing you've got the potential, but you don't do anything about it. At least you're feeling less than, at least to regret it, at least you're feeling like a fucking loser, to be honest with you. So we want to make sure that when we're looking at personal development or making changes, we want to make sure that we're actually hunting down the right thing in the first place. So let's break down what I believe are 4 key areas that we all should focus on. And maybe you agree. If you've got any that you think are additional, please put them down in the comments. So the first area for me, and this could be one area, but I'm going to break it down into 2, would be health, physical and mental. You could call it mindset for the mental. You could call it a focus area. You could even call it personal development. But the mind, thinking, having mental sharpness, having mental clarity, being able to think clearly, being able to make confident decisions, feeling positive, handling the emotional shit that comes your way in the right way, not being reactive, all comes under having the mindset in a powerful place. The second piece would be your body, the physical health, being strong, being fit, being lean. If you're someone right now who's 20, 30, maybe 40 pounds overweight, if you look in the mirror and you're disgusted by what you see, if you can't wear the clothes you want to wear, if the fat is over rolling on your shorts, if you're going on holiday with the kids and you're embarrassed to get in photos, you're embarrassed to take your top off and you're hiding away, then that's no fucking good to anyone, is it? How can you tell your kids to be happy, to be healthy, to be confident if you don't feel that way yourself? You're essentially a walking hypocrite, and kids pick up on that. And I don't say this to be too critical on you. I don't say it's to judge you. I say it's because the great news is you can turn it around quite quickly. All right. And same with your mindset. If you're someone that's always reacting, angry, snappy, low energy, right, that's no good to anyone around you too. The third piece to focus on would be your career, how you make money. This is inevitable. You've got to be in a situation where you can maximize your time and ideally make progress in that area, create a better lifestyle for you and your family, get that job satisfaction, hopefully in an environment which allows you to thrive. And the fourth piece, of course, is family, your relationships with your wife, with your kids, friends, parents, wherever it's going to be. But mainly in our world, it's going to be our wife and our kids. So those are your four key areas. Those are the areas of life that if you're maximizing your potential, let's have a ranking system, let's say between 1 and 10. 10 being amazing, 1 being dog shit. If you were to rank yourself right now, where would you want to rank yourself? Obviously, you would want to be a 10, right? And this is a good little experiment for you to try at this moment. If I was to ask you to rank yourself across those four areas, your mind, your body, your relationships, and your career, out of 10, where would you rank yourself right now? Would it be a 3? Would it be a 4? Would it be a 7? I imagine it might be a little bit of a scattered scorecard. Maybe you're absolutely flying at work right now. Maybe it's a 10, but your relationships at home aren't great. Or maybe you're absolutely flying at work, but because of that, you don't have time to go to the gym. Or maybe your relationships are great, but mentally right now you're struggling. I'm not too sure. But you should start by seeing where you're at. So if you're like, let's say you're a 6 across the board. Next question is, what's in the gap? What's stopping you from being a 10? If you're a 6, what does a 10 look like? That's a great starting point, guys. This is really valuable because you can understand actually, well, have you even asked yourself the question, what a 10 would look like with your body? What a 10 would look like with your marriage? What a 10 would look like with the relationship with your kids? What does it look like? And this is where you can start the journey of identifying what it is you actually want, but it's related to things that are valuable. Your body's valuable, your relationships are valuable, your business is valuable, or your career is valuable, and your fucking mind is valuable. All right, so already we're starting to map out a sense of meaning. We're already starting to map out something which is tangible, which is real, and that if you thrive in, again, like I say. So now you've got a clear picture of where you're at. Now we're going to step into the daily game. So the daily game looks like this. There's 2 parts to the daily game. There's the morning piece, and then there's the evening piece. And all we're going to do is we're going to set tasks, if you like, mini goals across those 4 key areas, which you're going to then take action on a daily basis. Right now, to start with, again, this is the game that I play. You may only want to start with 2 or 3 tasks. If you're someone who right now who's like, fucking hell, all these areas sound a bit too much for me. I just want to lose some fat and I'm just hate the way I look. Okay, start there. But the point is you're going to set tasks in the morning that need to be completed by the evening. So what does it look like? Let me break it down to you. You get a point for each of those tasks. So personally for me, I set 2 goals in each of those 4 categories. So that's 8 points is up for grabs. 2 points for the mind, 2 points for the body, 2 points for work, and then 2 points for family. So I'll run you through what they look like. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do here is feel good, look good, perform at a high level at work and at home. So this is based around performance and based around you getting the most out of each day. So for me, the tasks that I set, the mini tasks I set each day around my mind is I do my ice bath because that creates mental clarity. It's something that's quite hard to do, jumping in freezing water each morning. I do it at 0 degrees. It's not easy to do. Every morning I'm like, fucking hell, I don't really want to do this, but I do it anyway. So that builds resilience. I get all the benefits from recovery, from mental clarity, from an energy perspective, the dopamine increase of 400%, so I feel good afterwards. So naturally that makes me feel sharp in the morning. On top of that, I chuck in a bit of breath work and a bit of meditation. Those 2 tasks, that little morning routine I've got, takes me 15 minutes, tops. When it comes to the body, for me that comes broken down into 2 areas, fitness and fuel. Did I work out today? And did I put the right thing into my body in terms of fuel? If I did, great. You get a tick for both of those or a point for both of those. If it's a rest day, then I might try and get 10,000 steps in or get a bit of a light sweat on. Regardless, a point for each of those. Okay? The third piece would be career, business, how you make money, what you do to bring in an income. This can be tricky depending on the job role that you have, but regardless, I think there should be you should be focused on having a positive impact and offering value, because at the end of the day, the more value you offer the marketplace, the more you're going to get compensated, the more you're going to get noticed, the more you're going to get rewarded. So in my world, I want to be able to offer supreme value and serve my clients at a super high level. So I look at who can I impact in a positive way today? And I give myself a mark if I had a positive impact, which of course I should do inside my business. Then I'm all about influence. I'm all about inspiration. I want to motivate people. But I also want to make sure that I'm having a positive impact on the world. Hence why I'm doing this YouTube channel, to serve and reach more people, because I've got an important message to share. So then I might give myself a point for putting out content, for example. These tasks, these points, and the actual reasons behind it, they can vary a little bit. You know, I might change things up a little bit depending on new skill sets I've learned, depending on where I'm at in my business. These are flexible, don't have to be fixed. All I do know is if I get these tasks done, I'm taking a step closer to where I want to be. And that's the most important thing. It's all about daily progress, okay? When it comes to the family tasks, again, this can change, it can vary, but at the moment, for me, it's making sure the phone is down and away and almost turned off after 8 p.m. No phone after 8 p.m. Why? Because it allows me to have good quality time with the family, with my wife, connecting and not scrolling fucking screens, getting pissed off from Barry from Bradford because he supports a certain team or follows a certain political party. Don't want to get involved in that nonsense. The second one could be walking the dog with the family. It could be something related to spending an hour playing football with you of an evening time. It's something that benefits the family unit, something that allows me to show up as a dad, as a husband, and serve to the highest level I possibly can. These tasks, these mini goals, they're not something that's completely impossible. But if I do them, no matter how good or bad my day is, I'm giving myself the best opportunity to make progress. The reason why I'm so into these tasks, I actually call them non-negotiables, because they should be non-negotiable. If I get them done and I give myself a point in those areas, if I can get 8 points every single day, I know in a month's time, 2 months' time, I am going to be absolutely flying. I'm going to be thriving in my business. I know that I'm going to be in great shape. My relationship with my wife, with my son, is going to be fantastic. Relationship with myself is going to be good. And mentally, I'm going to be in a great place. All right? Because it's just that compound effect of doing things consistently, which has such a big impact over time. And I'll tell you what, I've been in times in my life when I've been absolutely flying in business, flying with my body, okay? And I've been in a great place with my relationships, but I haven't been playing this daily game. And all of a sudden you start thinking, these mini tasks are what I call daily non-negotiables. And you set them in the morning, you review them of an evening time, and you go through, did I do what I said I was going to do? Did I do what I said I was going to do? And this is one of the cheat codes for 2024. Just simply showing up, saying you're going to do something and following through. Why? Because 99% of people aren't fucking doing that. 99% of people are saying one thing, doing another. They're lying to themselves. Essentially, that means they're lying to people around them. And there's nothing worse than knowing deep down that you're bullshitting yourself. So by showing up, saying you're going to do something, following it through, not only does that keep that commitment to yourself, which builds self-respect, self-esteem, and self-worth, it also builds phenomenal confidence, because you've got evidence. You've got an undeniable stack of evidence, as Alex Hormozy says, that showcases and proves to yourself that this is who you are. And this is the best thing for me about doing this, because it's showing that I'm going to show up, try and do it on a daily basis. Sometimes I'll win, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll win, sometimes I'll learn. Because at the end of the day, you may not be able to get all those done, those tasks. Life gets in the way. And that's okay. Sometimes it'll be 5 out of 8. Sometimes it'll be 6 out of 8. The cool thing is you can look for patterns. If you know over a period of 5 days you didn't get your workouts done, or you're putting shit food into your body, you weren't able to get points in your body, for your body, then you know something's up. If you know you forget to do certain things within your relationships that's relying to your non-negotiables, then you know something's not quite right. The good thing is, because you're getting real-time feedback, you can then decide the next day, do you know what? I've not been performing like I want to. Let me go and change that for the following day. Let me go ahead and fucking make sure that tomorrow I do what I said I was going to do. And this is the great thing about playing this daily game, is every single morning you've got a fresh opportunity, a fresh chance to get it right. And it feels fucking amazing when you're able to string a chain of days together where you hit all your non-negotiable tasks. You end up feeling powerful, okay? Another layer to this, which is really powerful, is you can start then tracking your wins. So if you were to look at your day, if I said to you yesterday, what were your top 3 wins? What were the top 3 things you did yesterday which were really cool, that you're really happy with, that push you further towards where you want to be? Most of you wouldn't be able to tell me that. Not because you haven't done anything powerful or done anything great or had any wins. It's just, sometimes you fucking forget. I forget what I did yesterday. Happens. Ask me what I did yesterday. Someone's like, what did I do yesterday? We've got so much going on and we forget. So by evening time, looking at your non-negotiables, did I do what I did, and tallying them up and giving you a score out of 8. At the same time, what you could do is write down your wins for the day. What were 3 things that I did today which is great, that took me close to where I want to be? Why were they wins? For example, I got a workout done today. Why was it a win? Well, I didn't want to go, but I didn't want to go to the gym, but I did it anyway. Great, built resilience. Then you have the third column, which would be next steps. What's the next steps on top of that? Next steps would be, right, I'm going to go again tomorrow. Then you might want to go ahead and put it into your diary and put the time that you're going to go to the gym. Can you see the difference here between waking up and hoping and wishing for a positive day, or actually planning for one? Actually putting together something which is going to push you forward in a positive direction, and then reviewing it at the end of the day. All this stuff, by the way, guys, takes you 5 minutes to do in the morning, because once you figure out what your non-negotiable tasks are, they're probably not going to change too much. And like I said, you don't have to have 8 like me. You could have 3 to start with. And they could just be focused on one area if you want. The most important thing is you're waking up and you're being intentional with how you're going to spend your day, intentional with how you're going to spend your time. Instead of just sleepwalking awake and getting slapped around by life and hoping things change. Nothing's going to change unless you've got a fucking game plan to follow. Be intentional. Review what you're doing. And this is why this scorecard system works so well, because it's a bit of a game. And us men like games. We like solving problems. It's wired into our DNA. There's no better game to play than one on yourself, because that's the biggest impact. Because again, if you feel good about yourself, if you know that you're making progress, that will resonate. That will show to everyone around you, and people pick up on that energy. And it allows you to be the best dad, the best husband, lead at work, and feel fucking good about yourself, right? So I want you to walk away from this episode realizing that you don't have to have everything mapped out. You don't have to have this grand vision, this purpose in life, this spiritual calling to be something more than what you are. But what you do need to realize is that progress is the name of the game. Making progress on a daily basis, if you can, will have a big impact on you. Making progress on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. You want to be able to look back a year from now and go, fuck me, I don't recognize that guy, because you've grown so much, because you've evolved so much. The people who don't evolve are the ones that end up walking around feeling a bit mopey, feeling a bit down, because they know deep down they're just fucking wasting their time. You don't want to be that guy. And if you're on this YouTube channel with me, it's for a reason, because you know there's more to come. So play this daily game. Get clear on your non-negotiables to start with. Get up each day, write them down. At the end of each day, review it. Did you do what you said you're going to do? Yes or no? Give yourself a score system. Try and get the full marks you can. If you don't get the full marks, then you can look at it and say, okay, why didn't I make that change? Why didn't I do that thing today? And understand it. Why didn't I get to the gym today? Oh, because you fucking slept in late. Okay, well, what have I got to do to change that? Well, go to bed fucking earlier. Okay, it makes sense. This stuff's not complicated. But what it does do is it allows you to have a clear focus for each day. If executed, you will get an amazing return on this. So start getting on negotiables, start taking action. And as always, feel free to leave a comment below if you've got any questions for me, and I'll see you on the next episode.